All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Qatar, or Qatar, however the hell you say it. Tsarukyan versus Hooker has just ended, and this is going to be my full card post-fight reactions. Starting off with the very first fight of the night, probably the worst fight of the entire card. We have Marque Belugio versus Denzel Freeman. Denzel Freeman gets it done via unanimous decision. This fight was absolutely garbage. They essentially didn't do much for 3 rounds. Honestly, it looked like a sparring session. There were like a couple of decent strikes landed throughout this fight from both guys. Very unimpressed. Honestly, I don't think either of these guys should be in the UFC. This is just showing you how low the barrier entry into the UFC is, especially for the heavyweight division, which is probably the least skilled division in the entirety of the UFC. Cut both of these guys from the UFC. I never want to see either one of these guys fight again. I know they're relatively new and inexperienced. Does it have their record on here? Probably not. It doesn't. But yeah, I don't want to see this ever again. Moving up the card, we have Nural Aliyev versus Shamrock. Aliyev gets it done via unanimous decision. Dominates Shamrock over all 3 rounds. I just can't think of a moment in the fight. There might have been like a few shots that Shamrock landed that were like decent shots. Aliyev used his grappling in the majority of this fight, was able to control Shamrock. I think Rock might have had, he had his back at one point. I think it was I can't remember. I think it was the 3rd round. Shamrock was actually finally able to get Aliyev down, where through the entirety of the rest of the fight he wasn't able to get him down. Could not get, and he didn't hold it very long. That was probably going to be his like Hail Mary, try to get the submission off of his back. But Aliyev was able to get out from that position and just outworked him, outgrappled him for 3 rounds, and was landing, especially in that first round, was landing very good shots to the dome on Shamrock. Aliyev did look a little gassed towards the end of the fight, I'm not going to lie. So I think he probably needs to work on his cardio some more. He did win, but probably the cardio is what's going to fail him the most in his next fight. Moving up the card, I got this one predicted right. I want to pull my Tapology picks up because I think I did pretty good overall on this card. Let's see. Let me refresh it. But we have Ismail Nardiev versus Ryan Loder. I only got 2 picks wrong on this card. You had Ryan Loder, who I didn't think was very good. He's coming off of that loss to, was it Bakoyev? I think it was. And Bakoyev's already lost in the UFC as well. But he won the Ultimate Fighter against Robert Valentin. Valentin, I don't even know if he's in the UFC anymore. Hasn't won a fight in the UFC. And it seems like the more that the Tough has gone, the worse the fighters that Tough is producing, the champions or the winners of the tournament, it seems like just the worse and worse they're getting. And like, out of recent memory, the most credentialed Tough person is probably, or most successful or most popular, is probably Brian Battle, and he's not even in the UFC anymore. I think he signed with PFL. So, but this fight didn't last very long. Nardiev, I can't remember if it was a left hand, like a left hook or whatnot, but he had a Loder backed up against the cage. I think it was a left hook. I wish I remembered, but it was clean. He was out cold, and not much to say. But maybe give Loder one more chance, and then they'll probably cut him. I know he won the Ultimate Fighter, but clearly does not belong in the UFC. And for Nardiev, this is his 2nd stint in the UFC. Got back in, I think it was on short notice. I can't remember who it was against in his last fight, but I think he took it on short notice and ended up getting that victory as well. So maybe he's getting back on track finally, and we'll see what he does in his next one. Moving up the card, this fight was actually pretty good. This is the first fight of the night that I was actually excited to watch. We have Beksat Almahan versus Alessandro Taporia. I had Taporia. Did I? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I had Taporia by decision. That's what I had. First round, like within the first couple of minutes, I'm like, ooh, I probably should have picked Beksat. But Topuria was kind of starting slow. In that first couple of minutes in that first round, Beksat was landing really good shots on Topuria, kind of lighting him up, moving forward, pressing forward. Topuria was kind of backing up. And then probably second half of the first round, Topuria was landing a couple of nice shots. And you could kind of see a momentum just barely shifting. But in my opinion, it wasn't enough. I still give Beksat the first round. I can't remember if he got any 30-27 scorecards or not, or if it was all 29-28. I had second and third round clearly for Topuria because second and third round, especially in that third round, drops Beksat twice, both times with the right hand. Majority of this fight, Topuria shelling up, doing really good, getting out of the way of shots from Beksat, and just moving forward, keeping that pressure on Beksat. Was able to get him down a couple of times. Both of the times, eventually Beksat was able to scramble back up to his feet. And I think the second takedown he got was the one that had the least amount of control time with it. But in that in the third round, I thought he was going to get the finish. I really did think he was going to get the finish when he dropped him, especially when he dropped him the second time. But he was, being calm. He wasn't just going in there rushing and putting himself at risk, because Beksat does have good KO power for himself. He just couldn't find that mark on Topuria's chin to put him out. I think this is a solid win for Alexandre Topuria. And for Beksat, I think he's 1-2 in the UFC. I think they might cut him and they might give him another chance, because his two losses is to Umar Nurmagomedov on short notice. Then he beat, I think it was Brad Katona, who is a two-time tough winner. What does that mean? Like I was saying before. And then his next fight lost to Alexandre Topuria, who seems to be, he's only had 2 fights in the UFC. I don't want to overhype him yet, but I kind of rated Beksat to be a pretty good opponent, and he did very good in this fight. Towards the end of the third, Beksat was kind of coming back a little bit, but didn't do enough because he got dropped twice by Topuria. So, good fight. I cannot wait for Topuria's next fight. I've seen some people online say do Topuria versus Umar. I mean, do I think that would be a fun, interesting fight? Yes. Do I think Topuria needs to fight a few more opponents? Yes. I think give him one more unranked opponent. Then if he gets past them, maybe it's like some top 25 bantamweight. Then give him someone in the top 15. Then if he gets past them, very convincingly, throw him in there with a top 5 opponent. But good fight, fun fight, and good win from Topuria. Moving up the card. I actually did not watch this fight at all, although I had him by KO or decision. No, I didn't. I had him by first round KO. He did not get the first round KO, although it was only a 30-second fight. Maybe I should have went back and watched it. He submitted him. I think was it a Kimura? I don't remember, but I didn't watch this fight. They're probably going to cut Rafael Kakera. Doesn't really belong in the UFC, so nonetheless, we have Alex Perez versus Asul Amabayev. I had Amabayev to get it done via decision, and he's got the guillotine submission into the third round. Until then, very competitive fight. Honestly, a very hard fight, for me at least, to score. Perez was actually doing better than I thought he was going to. I thought this was going to be a complete outclassing by Amabayev. I thought the grappling, which he did use them in this fight, but I thought the grappling was what was really going to do it in this fight. And I thought that, Perez is kind of older. He's been in there, had a lot of tough fights. He's coming off of a long layoff. I thought that would really hinder his performance, but he didn't really seem to have any ring rust. He kind of went in there and went straight to business. In that third round, Amabayev got him that guillotine. I think Perez was standing still, and Amabayev was just hanging on there. Got the guillotine in the third round. So very good win from Asul Amabayev. Perez is kind of like that top 10 through 5 gatekeeper in the flyweight division. So, and Kai Kara-France is not the top. He's not in the top 5 anymore. He's dropped out of the rankings now. So we don't really have a top 5 gatekeeper. I think this was probably the closest thing we're going to have to it now, which for some reason it doesn't say his rank. For some reason I thought he was ranked like 6. Probably won't load fast enough. Oh, it did. Perez was ranked number 7. And Amabai was ranked 8. For some reason, I thought he was ranked like 10 or 11. Nonetheless, moving up. Man, this is one of the ones I got wrong. And I almost, I think I picked, yeah, I'm trying to say his damn name. We have Nicholas Dalby versus Sayagid Zakhminov. I'm going to say Sayagid because I don't know how to say his name. This was a very grueling, competitive fight between Dalby and Sayagid. Essentially, I picked Sayagid to get it done via first round KO, if I remember correctly. And I thought Dalby was going to be a little gun shy because he just got put to sleep cold in his last fight versus Randy Brown. But he didn't care. He just immediately, he went for it. Relentless with the grappling, relentless with the pressure. Just how Nicholas Dalby normally fights. That's what we saw in this fight. Dalby marching him down. And Sayagid, I think there were moments where, I don't know why he was doing it, he would go for takedowns. Because don't get me wrong, he was getting some takedowns throughout this fight. But he would go for takedowns where I thought, maybe on the feet you would be doing better right now. Like, I just felt like he was doing a little bit better in the striking department, but then would just shoot for takedowns and try to get those. So, not the best, I think, fight IQ move. And I vaguely thought I remembered it because Islam was in his corner telling him to, in the third round, like, strike with him. Like, you're doing good on the feet. You know, you don't need to be going for takedowns. I could be just making that up completely. But I thought I heard them saying that on the broadcast. But nonetheless, Nicholas Dalby at 41 still getting it done over a young up-and-coming contender in Sayagid. I think he just came off the Contender Series, if I remember correctly. Let's get this shit out of my eye, whatever that is. But yeah, I just couldn't pick Dalby. I couldn't pick Dalby knowing, you know, he just got brutally KO'd in his last fight before this. And with him being 41 years old, but nonetheless, he gets it done by just not giving a shit. It was a close competitive fight, don't get me wrong. It was a split decision win. But he just didn't give a shit. He marched forward, marched down to Sayagid in a clinch war. Moving up the card, headlining the prelim. Man, there's something in my eye. That shit's annoying. Now it's in both eyes. Headlining the prelims, we have Bogdan Grad versus Luke Riley. I had Luke Riley by decision. Luke Riley ends up getting it done via second round KO over Bogdan Grad. First round, Grad essentially put on a grappling clinic against Luke Riley. Shot in, I can't remember if it was, I think it was within the first 30 seconds, was shooting in on Luke Riley. A lot of cage control time, a lot of taking him down, Riley popping back up, taking him back down. Not a ton of striking on the feet in the first round. Maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half. And then in that second round, I was kind of like, oh man, I thought his takedown defense was going to be good enough. I thought he could make it a war enough, a dirty fight, Riley that is, and get the win over Grad. And I'm kind of like, oh man, I shouldn't have picked him because I was doing pretty decent, and I had only gotten one fight wrong up until this one, and that was the fight before this one actually. So Luke Riley comes out in the second round. Grad goes in. They're kind of going in a little exchange there. I thought Grad was going to shoot on him because Riley was completely exposed, but so was Grad. And that's why I thought he was going to shoot. Riley hits him with a left hand, drops him. I really think it was a flash KO. I think it flash KO'd him, and then when he hit the ground, he woke back up. Because he woke back up, and then Riley jumps on him, is smashing him. For a second, I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to get it. And then he puts Grad back out again. Brutal second round KO finish for Luke Riley in his UFC debut. I would say a decent win for him on his UFC resume. He really, which he said in his post-fight, and I'll give him props for that. He said he needs to work on his grappling, his takedown defense. That is probably the biggest hole in Luke Riley's game, is his takedown defense, is his grappling. And he definitely needs to work on that if he wants to succeed in the featherweight division. Really like bantam through welterweight. You got really good grapplers in all of those divisions. Moving up the card, the other fight on the card I got wrong. We have Tagiru Ulanbekov versus Kyuichi Horiguchi. Horiguchi gets it done in the third round, puts Tagiru Ulanbekov out cold. Man, this is really non-competitive. This fight was not competitive whatsoever, ever. Can't even talk right now. I essentially what I thought Tagir would be able to, although he doesn't have the best cardio, but I thought in this fight, he's on this, he was on this winning streak. I thought he would this would be his run at the title, if you will. He'd be, really taking things serious, really concentrating, really focusing on the grappling, on the pressure, and on the advancement. But Horiguchi in this fight looked so fast, looked so clean, looked really good on the feet. He was essentially landing at will on Tagir Ulanbekov, landing good kicks to Tagir. Tagir really didn't do much of anything. He almost no offense in this fight. The speed advantage was so apparent in this fight, or obvious in this fight, that Horiguchi had, and he was just kind of dancing around Tagir, doing whatever he wanted to him. And Tagir, I can't remember, it said he's got one takedown. I don't even remember when that takedown was, or how long he had it for. That's how little it left an imprint in my mind. Very unsuccessful when he tried to grapple really at all in this fight. And then in that third round, Horiguchi comes out hot. Tagir's looking gassed. As soon as that third round started, I'm like, I think he might get a finish this round. Horiguchi, I think it started with a head kick that hurt Tagir and then dropped him. I can't remember if it was I want to say it was a right hand, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Gets the back of Tagir, and Tagir didn't tap, puts him out cold. That's a very solid win in his re-debut in the UFC. Honestly, I think he calls out Pantoja. Give him one more. Let him fight, because you're going to have Pantoja versus Van. So the winner of that fight, I think if Horiguchi can get one more win, give him as high-ranked opponent as possible. Especially if Pantoja gets through Joshua Van, which that fight, super hard to pick. I don't know who I'm picking in that fight. But just imagine if Pantoja gets through Van. Horiguchi's essentially, if we I got the rankings pulled up right here. He will have beaten Joshua Van. He's already beaten Brandon Ravel. He's already beaten Brandon Moreno. Almir Albazi doesn't deserve a title shot. Tatsuro Taira, I think he's on a one-fight win streak. Kopp, he's already beat Kopp, so it'd be a rematch. Perez just lost. Amabayev definitely doesn't deserve a title shot. Elliott, nope. Already beat Urseg. Tagir, nope. Johnson, nope. Silva, nope. We're going all the way down. There's just nobody for Alessandro Pantoja if he gets past Joshua Van. It's a Manel Kopp rematch, or just give Horiguchi a title shot is essentially what's next for Pantoja. But nonetheless, this was a great fight. I really didn't think Horiguchi was the people he lost to outside of the UFC. When they came to the UFC, they haven't done very well. I didn't think it would transfer. His skills would transfer very well back into the UFC with how more developed the talent pool is than when he was in it originally. Moving up the card, this was a great one. I love to see this one. This one was nice. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Shamil Gaziev. Shamil Gaziev gets put out cold in the first round. Love to see it. So originally it was supposed to be Shamil versus Sergey Spivak, and I was picking Shamil in that fight. I thought he would use his pace and pressure against, which he was trying to do against Acosta. He was trying to pressure him, back him up against the cage. Didn't go for any takedowns or anything, but definitely pressuring him. Swinging wild, going for big power shots. Acosta was doing very good head movement, getting out of the way of those power shots. Didn't really get touched a whole lot. Definitely didn't get touched with anything clean. Then hurts Shamil and just absolutely slumps him, drops him, and the follow-up ground and pound, it was definitely necessary. That's all I have to say. Definitely a necessary follow-up on the ground and pound shot for Waldo Cortez Acosta. Give him a title shot. Give Waldo Cortez Acosta a title shot. I would probably rather see, I don't know. I want to see the rematch. I want to see the rematch between Tom Aspinall and Ciorgan. Please don't let that take forever. Let's do that in January, February, and then Waldo Cortez Acosta, he wants to fight again in December. So, is there even anybody in the heavyweight division that would fight him? He said he'd fight anybody. He didn't care who it was. But, Waldo Cortez, he's ranked number 6. I don't think Almeida, I don't think Blades are going to fight that fast. He just fought Pavlovich. Volkov. I don't think any of these guys are going to be dying to fight in like just a few weeks. So I doubt he's going to be able to fight anybody like top ranked in the UFC. Maybe someone in the top 15 would fight him on a few weeks' notice, but I doubt it. So, but nonetheless, I think he's earned himself a title shot. Nonetheless, whether it's Gane, whether it's Aspinall, whoever wins that fight, give Waldo Cortez Acosta the winner of that fight. He has earned himself a title shot. Moving up the card, we have, this one was rough. This one was brutal. We have Jack Hermanson versus Maktabek Orablai. I had Orablai, and I picked Acosta via decision. He obviously got the first one KO. I picked a lot of people via decision that ended up getting a finish. I picked Orablai via decision. I thought he was going to be able to out-grapple Jack Hermanson, outstrike him on the feet, but I thought primarily he was going to be controlling Hermanson, trying to get the submission, but Hermanson would be able to defend it, and he would kind of just do that for 3 rounds. That's kind of how I envision the fight going. It might be time for Jack Hermanson to hang it up, honestly. Like, gets put out cold, back-to-back fights. Is he 40? I don't know if he's exactly 40 years old yet, but he's taken a lot of damage throughout his career. Okay, give him another chance. Give him another chance. Have him fight somebody else. I don't know if welterweight's it for him. I think welterweight, he might be like draining himself too much to get down to 170. He might have to stay at middleweight. He did look really big in there. Pause. He looked big for welterweight. And Orablai kind of looks small for welterweight. It is kind of weird. You had a middleweight going down to welterweight and a lightweight going up to welterweight. Orablai did say he's going to talk with his team. He's not sure if he wants to go back down to lightweight or stay at welterweight. I don't know. I feel like he's too small for welterweight. He is pretty skillful. He's got good power, but I think he might need to go back down to lightweight. I think he would be more successful at lightweight, just based off his size and his skill set. I mean, Hermanson was landing some good kicks to the body, and he was throwing a lot of those kicks. But Orablai was just going out there with a vengeance, just swinging at Hermanson. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should he go back down to lightweight or should he stay at welterweight? I think he should. I think he had more success at lightweight than he will at welterweight. I think he's going to have a lot of trouble. A lot of the new generation of welterweights, they're pretty big. Like, pause. I'm not trying to sound gay here, but they are. They're like Ian Gary's 6'3". Michael Morales is ginormous. I think he's like 6'1". Carlos Prates, big. I don't know how Orablai would do against guys like that. I'm just going to move on. I don't want to talk about the shit anymore. Moving up the card. We have Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonzo Menifield. As soon as this fight started, I'm like, this fight is definitely not going the 3 rounds. And I picked Ozdemir to get it done via decision. He went out there, both of them really, but specifically Ozdemir went out there looking like, I hate the reference to the UFC video game, but he was like, he's double parked outside or whatever the hell they say in the game. But he looked like he wanted to go out there, get his job done, and get out of there, collect both of his checks. He didn't waste any time moving forward on Alonzo Menifield, backing him up against the cage. I don't think, like, the 2 strikes that they're claiming here, I don't think that's probably too far off. It was all Ozdemir. Fight didn't last, and that didn't even last a minute 30. Give him a top 5 opponent next, honestly. I mean, who do we got? You could do him versus Khalil. Maybe him versus Jamal Hill. I don't know. But throw him in there with like someone in the top 5. It would be fun. He's kind of back on a win streak again. Working his way towards a title shot. But a very, very non-competitive fight. Ozdemir went there, got it done via KO. Moving up the card, the co-main event. This is actually a pretty decent fight. We have Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary. Ian Gary gets it out of Ian Gary by decision. Got that. Very competitive fight, but in my opinion, very clear for Gary. I thought first round, very clear round in my opinion for Ian Gary. Went up there, outstruck Bilal. Was it? I'm trying to remember. I think there was an eye poke in the first round. It was the real eye poke. They stopped it. I don't think it was very long into the first, like maybe 30, 45 seconds in, Gary eye poked him. And then they resumed. Ian Gary doing really good to chop the legs, especially throughout the entirety of this fight. He was beating up that lead leg of Bilal, doing oblique kicks, really good leg kicks, stumbling Bilal multiple times throughout the 3 rounds, and he was absolutely destroying that lead leg. Joe Rogan would be proud of Ian Gary for learning about leg kicks. So first round, easy to score for Gary. Second round, it was a little bit more competitive, but honestly, it was more of the same in my opinion. I think the closest round was probably the second. I had first and third were easily Gary. I personally scored all 3 rounds for Ian Gary. I thought there were a few moments. Bilal couldn't get any takedowns. He shot, I don't know how many takedowns he shot. According to them, 7. I don't know. I didn't count. Shot all his takedowns. Gary defended all of them. Bilal did land a few good right hands throughout the fight. He was really looking for that overhand right. Didn't exactly find it like clean flush throughout that fight. But Gary landing great shots throughout it. This is kind of tough. Bilal's in a tough spot right now. He's just he lost his belt, loses his next fight after just losing his belt. He's kind of older. He's 37, 38 years old. So he's kind of getting older, kind of out of his prime. I'm sure he'll still fight a few more times. And I still think there are people in the top 15 that he can beat. But I just don't think it's going to be any of the new up-and-coming guys. Maybe he could beat Carlos Prates if he has to stick to a grappling game plan. He cannot give Prates any room to strike at all. But nonetheless, great win for me and Gary. Calls for a title shot. I said give him a title shot. I think I put in my fights to make video last weekend, I've had Ian Gary beating Bilal, and I think he deserves the next title shot versus Islam Makhachev. I want to see it. I want to see Ian Gary versus Islam. Although I think I'm picking Islam in that fight. I think Gary has a decent chance, but he honestly looked a little tired at the end of this one. And Bilal, he was pressuring him the whole time, backing Gary up. I think Islam's going to be even better at doing that than Bilal is. So I don't see Gary winning that fight, but I still think it would be good to see Islam in there with a bigger framed welterweight than JDM was. Moving up, the main event, Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Arman gets it done via second round head and arm choke. I think I picked him via 4th round sub on my Tapology. Let's see. Yeah, I had him via 4th round submission. I don't know. Did I say? I might have said rear naked choke. I don't remember. But honestly, this wasn't a competitive fight at all. Like, first round, on the feet, Arman's busting up Dan Hooker badly. Busting him up badly. Bullying him. Hooker, he kind of always keeps his hands down. But he was especially keeping him down in this fight because he was worried about the takedowns of Tsarukyan. And Tsarukyan was able to get him down that first round. And once he was able to get him down, Hooker didn't really have an answer for it. So, first round clear for Arman Tsarukyan. Hooker landed a couple decent kicks throughout the first round, but nothing like super powerful or damaging. Was throwing a lot of kicks up the middle though, which what you would do against someone who's trying to get you down. But clear first round for Tsarukyan. Second round, I don't think that he was even maybe a minute into the second round. Arman had him down, and then as soon as he had him down and wasn't able to get back up, I'm like, oh, it's over from here. Got the head and arm choke from mount on Dan Hooker. Honestly, give Arman a title shot. I think he deserves a title shot. He messed his up, pulled out 24 hours notice. Hanato Moicano stepped up to fight Islam. Honestly, I think Arman would beat Islam at 155 pounds. I also believe Arman will beat Ilia Topuria at 155 pounds. The way he was landing on Dan Hooker, those are heavy shots. And Arman's got decent power. Those are heavy shots. I think he's going to hurt Ilia. I think he's going to bully Ilia. And I think that's got to be the fight to make. It's going to be a very fun and exciting fight. I cannot wait to see it. And for Dan Hooker, maybe you give him I don't know how long, Benoit, I don't know. You got to give it, I don't want to see Benoit sit out too long because his fight lasted 15 seconds. So, I don't know. We'll figure that out in the Fights to Make video after this one. But nonetheless, pretty much a one-sided fight on the side of Arman Tsarukyan. Gets it done via submission. Calls his shot. Kind of a weak call out, though, on the mic. To fight Ilia Topuria. I think he should be next for the title. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Arman Tsarukyan should be next? Or should he have to fight someone again? Someone else. Let me know down below. Make sure to drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.